The Deal News Podcast, episode 235 for November 7th, Black Friday Supersode. I am joined by Dan, Lewis, and special guest Lindsay. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Jeff. Hey, guys.
How is it going?
Pretty good.
Good.
I'm just glad that Lewis is back safe and sound.
Yes.
Me too.
Yes.
So, how did you weather the storm? Do you want to take a minute to talk about any trials or tribulations? Is everything okay out by
Yeah, everything's pretty cool. I mean, I live in Jersey City, and we got hit pretty. We had a lot of flooding. That was the majority of the problem. We had a lot of flooding. The Hudson River basically just, it just flowed over. I rode out the hurricane at my parents, which is about 10 minutes away from where I live. We lost power Monday night. So we were out Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night, and we got it back like early Friday morning, I want to say.
Oh.
But we got it back. Then, of course, we had trouble with TV and cable. It came straight to my place. It was the same thing. There was no water over here, and there's no internet, and there's no cable. It was just a mess. And each night you're just like candlelight, and then you flip out a little bit because you're like, you don't want to fall asleep with the candle on, you take that out. So I mean, it was definitely stressful. It was definitely stressful, but in the long term, we lucked out big time in the sense that, all my family, friends, relatives, everyone, it was an inconvenience. That was all.
Right. Good. How about you, Lindsay? You don't you live near a flood zone?
Yeah, we didn't flood at all. It came close, but it didn't flood. I lost power on Monday night, but I have a friend that lives uptown. So Tuesday morning I went and stayed with her, and so I only missed one day of work. But I was very happy to be home in my own bed.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I missed out on my only occasion to not work because of like a weather-related thing. Because being able to work from home, you can't have a snow day or anything.
Yeah, I know.
That is true.
It's like the internet did go out the night before during the storm for me, but on the morning of, I was like, oh, it's back. I'll go to work, and I was like, man, I really missed my trip there. Just be like, I don't know, internet's out. It's gonna be out for a while. No, I couldn't lie like that. I realized that I'm too honest to a fault, I guess.
I thought about doing it, but thought that it really wouldn't fly.
Weird, a freak wind made it all the way across the continent to me and knocked out my cable.
My internet cables.
I know.
All right, so today on the show, what we'd like to do is, I thought it would be a good time to start talking about Black Friday.
Yay!
Seeing as how it is in 2 weeks at this point.
I know.
How time flies, right? You're looking forward to Halloween, and then Halloween gets here, and the next thing you know, you realize that it's like, 2 weeks to Black Friday. One of the biggest shopping days of the year. So since it's coming up fast, people need to be prepared. So let's tell everyone everything they need to know in order to be prepared for Black Friday. Go.
Buy a lot of bottled water and stock up on candy.
Batteries.
Well, let's start out with this then. How is this year going to be different from all of the other years? I do know that we wrote a feature about such a thing, and that you can read. Everything that we talk about probably is covered somewhere in a feature that we've written. I will include links to all of those on the show notes page. But let's just get us started here. What are we looking at this year as opposed to other years? What do you guys think is the biggest standout difference this year than every other year?
We saw a lot of stores open their doors earlier last year. I think only more stores are going to start doing that. A lot of them are going to push shopping on Thanksgiving, I guess. I heard that a few stores were thinking of actually releasing their Black Friday deals on Wednesday this year. Maybe,
like releasing to be bought?
Yeah. So
okay.
Like starting it earlier. So maybe trying to avoid the backlash of starting on Thanksgiving, but still kind of offering it on Thanksgiving.
Right.
Yeah, I know those, and there's so many sales that are even just like the week before that are, Black Friday labeled. I don't know. It's becoming more and more of a season than an actual day.
Black November, I think, is how it was said. Stores are going to be jumping on that opening early bandwagon again, I guess. Let's see, Walmart's going to open at midnight. And let's see, Best Buy is going to open at midnight as well on the 23rd on Black Friday. So I don't know if they're opening on Thanksgiving, but they're certainly opening like the second the clock rolls
Right.
around to Black Friday. Kohl's is the same thing. They're going to be open at midnight. And Sears and Kmart are actually opening on Thanksgiving. I believe Sears is doing so in like 2 parts, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they have that weird, it's kind of like going, I think, from like 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then they're closed, and then they're reopening again at like 10 p.m. onward.
So
Yeah.
they're like doing a split shift?
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Wow, that's weird.
You think that's just so that people can go home and have Thanksgiving dinner, or
I
is
think
there?
so.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna do that, just I don't know, keep it open.
Here's
all day.
here's my prediction. I am going to predict right now that we are going to see a lot more stores do the open on Thanksgiving, just stay open through Cyber Monday, like
No.
nonstop, 24
Wow.
hours, no stopping at all.
Right? Isn't
That's
that
my prediction.
Is Toys R Us doing that? We talked about that, right? Aren't they?
They open at 9 p.m. I think on Thanksgiving. Lewis, you do this. I think they open at 9 p.m. on Thanksgiving and then just stay open until the next
They
day.
just stay open, yeah, yeah.
In perpetuity until everyone that worked there passes out. When all of our employees pass out, we close. That's pretty much it. It's the sleep deprivation sale. The one way that I thought was interesting of the way that this Black Friday will be different that we called out was going to be the showrooming. Is that we said that 4G is going to make showrooming easier. Now, showrooming, for those of you that don't listen regularly to the podcast, we talk about it a lot. It's when you go into a store and you look at an item and then you tap on your phone and say, oh, let's see where I could find this item cheaper because I get to use it here, but then I get to buy it for the best price. Now, something that could be done at any time now that we have smartphones, but the fact that you can actually do it right then and there while you're looking at the stuff, I think that's a very interesting change. How do you guys feel about doing it right in the store, though? I don't know. There's just something about it that I could never bring myself to do. Like, I don't know. Just I know that they're looking at me, and I can't I'll look at I'll go into a store. I will showroom, but then I will leave and look at the phone outside because I just feel guilty.
See, I've got no shame. I figure if the price is lowest there, I'm going to buy it anyway. But I mean, if I have the opportunity to find it cheaper via my phone or tablet or whatever I'm carrying at the time, I don't think there's any shame in that. I really don't. I mean, yeah.
The other facet to the showrooming thing that I really like as well is, Black Friday for many stores is kind of like a lost leader type of thing. They wrangle you into the store with a cheap Blu-ray player or whatever, and then they figure, well, once you're there, you're going to pick something else up off the shelves. And being able to showroom is kind of torpedoing that notion completely, because now you'll be able to say, oh, well, while I'm here, let me just pick up this Xbox because I know my kid wants it. But you could be like, wait a minute, beep boop bop boop beep, and because that's the noise phones make, and then realize that no, wait, I shouldn't just be doing any, because honestly, anything you buy in the store that wasn't in the Black Friday flyer is an impulse buy, and you're probably not paying the best price for it.
Right.
Well, a lot of stores, I think this year are trying to offer different promotions they know you're going to come in and use your smartphone, probably to do comparison shopping. And so, I mean, Target and Best Buy both will, if you find a lower price on your phone, you show it to them, they'll price match in store to keep you from leaving, or buying it on your phone elsewhere. Which I don't know how well that'll work out. I know Best Buy is offering it, but it's making it kind of difficult, and only some stores qualify. But the big one, Amazon, qualifies for both. And if they do that and you stay and buy it there, I mean, it's easier if you already have it in your hands, you can get the same price. Yeah. Then maybe you will grab those other things that, have a higher margin of, they make more off of. So I'd be curious to see how well that works for people if you do go in store.
Yeah, that seems like that would just make things even crazier, especially over Black Friday weekend. It's like, you're sitting there, oh, let me see if it's cheaper on my phone. Oh, da, 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 da. You're standing in line, there's like 8,000 people behind you getting ready to murder you.
Well, the people that are going, banging on the doors are there for items that they already know are probably not cheaper elsewhere, so I don't know that they're even bothering, but I don't know. We'll see. Maybe it'll create more chaos.
And another thing I would like to say about showrooming then is that since stores like that are price matching, it would actually behoove you to showroom then to double check the price, because you don't want to be that guy that picks the item up and says, well, since I'm here, and then realize that you could have gotten it cheaper elsewhere when, you know, they're offering this service of price matching to something online.
Right.
You know, so make sure you do it. You know, don't get gypped, don't get rooked out of it. You know. All right, let's see. What are some of the other big differences that will be differences that will be different this year on Black Friday? We in the past, Black Friday has been a huge day for buying a television. We say that this year it will not be.
There's just fewer people buying TVs. I know, Lewis, I think you worked on this piece. It's sort of an ongoing trend, but even more so now, people turn to other devices for their media. Like, you can stream everything on your computer for the most part. You may not be as inclined to update your TV if you're only using it for like the occasional live TV show.
Yeah, I mean, there's basically fewer and fewer reasons for you to upgrade your TV. If your HD TV works perfectly fine, a lot of the features that the new TVs have, like, let's say 3D, you can stream Netflix, you can stream Amazon. All of that stuff you could already do on your Xbox, on your PS3, on your Roku. Those features they're not really selling people on new TVs.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a TV now and you're like, gosh, I'd really love to have one that has Netflix built in, you buy a Roku box and it adds it, right? So
exactly.
Right. Do you think we've kind of hit a saturation point then for TVs where everyone who has one or wants a TV has a TV, and they're not getting exponentially better as devices, so we're just settling with what we have and using the add-ons.
Do you think that, or do you think they're going, is it now really about size?
So that people aren't buying unless they buy huge?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm looking for on Black Friday. I need a TV for downstairs, and I was looking for a 65-inch.
Whoa, you're letting
hang on the wall.
I think that's true that you probably are only going to upgrade if you just want a significantly different product. Like you've always had a cheap 32-inch, and now you're ready to spend the money on something much bigger. That's probably... Or maybe, I think smaller TVs do well too if you just want to add something cheap in your extra bedroom. But yeah, I don't know if there's anyone who already has a 55-inch TV and is buying another 55-inch TV to upgrade for features.
Right. Why not? This one's a year old. It might as well. All right, let's see another. Well, what do you guys think are the bigger ways of that Black Friday is different this year? What sticks out from this list? What shocked you?
For me, it's the tablets, and I probably say that because I'm going to buy one. My plan is to buy one. I'm caving in. I'm going.
Really, you are?
Yeah, I am.
What are you going to get? Do you know yet, or?
I definitely want a Kindle. I want an Amazon Kindle, the Paperwhite. But if I see a good deal on either the Nexus 7 or the iPad, either the third or the fourth generation, I'll go with that. So it really depends what I see at that moment. And
I don't think you're going to see a good enough deal on the iPad that'll...
I know. Yeah, the 3 maybe, because the 3 is at what right now, like $379 or something like that, I think.
Well, that's for a refurb.
Yeah, I wouldn't even mind refurbs.
I can imagine any stores that have it in stock might be using that as a really enticing promotion for Black Friday.
Right.
With one in stock. Yeah.
But they still pop up every now and then, and maybe, they're saving that up now that it's still so new, but they need to get rid of it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the 4th generation iPad. I don't know that you're going to find something on that, but
yeah, probably like $5 off or something like that.
Right.
Yeah, we mentioned in the piece that tablets are becoming a huge category for any time of the year, but I think people are really hoping and expecting to see really great deals on tablets, and it's a little bit. The really popular ones are already so cheap. We're not really sure that they're gonna see the deals they want. Maybe at best we'll see some bundled credits or something like that. But weirdly enough, maybe the iPad 2 or something, or the iPad 3 at this point. They may be the best deals for
Yeah.
Friday.
Right. Right. Like you mean like percentage-wise, like ones that will actually have deals available for them. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we have talked in the past about like the Kindle Fire being, well, like Jeff Bezos said himself, they sell it for cost. You know, they can't really knock it down without losing money on it. It's kind of as low as it can already go, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for the Google Nexus tablet as well. So it looks like Apple's the only one that overcharges enough to be able to cut a little off the top. You know. So do you think this means then that with people looking for tablet deals, are they going to find one irregardless of there being a deal out there on it? You know what I mean? Like, are they going to be buying them anyway, or do you think Black Friday is going to come and go with most people being like, well, I didn't really find the deal I wanted, or are they still going to be a huge seller?
I don't know if they'll be. I think maybe people will be looking for a deal and not wait through Black Friday, maybe even Cyber Monday, and then if they don't find one, still buy it, but maybe not on the actual holiday itself. But I mean, those things are, I imagine they're going to be really popular for the holiday season, and maybe people will try and find a deal this Black Friday, but if they need it for someone, they're still going to buy it.
Right.
It's already pretty cheap, so.
Right.
Yeah. Did you guys, talking about buying things early or waiting, did you guys buy anything for the holidays yet?
No,
not yet.
Yeah, I did. I was going to talk about it as well, but then I see that number 10 on our list of how things are going to be different is that social gestures might spoil holiday surprises. And I realized that my wife listens to the podcast, so I can't talk about anything that I've bought. Oh. Yes. Needless to say that I did buy something for you, Emily, my wife. I'm talking to her now, looking right into the camera. So if the price drops between now and the holidays, I'm going to be really mad. But you know, it's just kind of the price you pay. Have you guys ever had anything spoiled by social media on you, like that, like a gift?
No, actually.
Yeah. But I know it has happened to people, and it is something that might happen. You know, you could log into so many places with Facebook these days, and you buy something, and it posts, and it's like, oh, Jeff just bought whatever for Emily. What? Don't tell me that.
I've like outed something. Like I think I've become super paranoid about it because I realize Spotify by default will like publish everything you're listening to, and that like horrified me. So I'm like super attentive to anything that might be connecting to your social media account. So I like outed a gift, but I'm also.
What were you listening to that you were horrified that everyone else knew?
Oh, some like I have a specific playlist on Spotify that like is my guilty pleasure songs that I would be embarrassed to tell people I like, and I think I was listening to that all week, and then I realized that it was, and just like the same song like 8 times in a row, and I don't need anyone to know.
Right.
That, so
I had that happen with a friend of mine. I was like, I think I was listening to like an entire, you know, the discography of Marilyn Manson, like, you know, pretty much all day long. And then I threw in one Kelly Clarkson, and then my whole Facebook blew up. Like, oh my God, we're taking away your man card. And it's like, oh, thanks, people, come on.
Let's see. What else should we? Let's move on from this differing from last year. Let's talk about this upcoming. Well, no, I realized that I just said let's not talk about what's going to be different this year. Let's talk about this year. But there's a slight difference because we're comparing to the past, and this we're looking forward to the predictions. We put together this giant list of statistics and everything of what you can expect to see during Black Friday based on our data. Let's talk about some of the standouts from it. We were talking about HD TVs. Even though that there's not going to be as many deals, we're still seeing some pretty impressive prices on them, right?
I think there will still be deals. They just might not be what people are really going for. Right. But Lewis looked into the TV prices. I think, was it the 46, 47-inch we thought was going to be the big price category this year?
Basically, last year we saw 42-inch TVs, LCD TVs, hit as low as I think 189, which was like an incredible deal, but it lasted like 20 minutes. So this year we expect to see 42-inch TVs hit 189, and you're not going to be, you're not going to need lightning fast reflexes to hit that price. It's going to be easier to obtain that price. And as a flip side to that, 46, 47-inch TVs are going to be the new entry-level LCD size category. So we're going to see pretty aggressive deals. We're predicting we're going to see aggressive deals on the 46, 47-inch LCD TVs.
Well,
we're predicting $299 for those.
Right.
Wow, that's sweet.
Well, there's your solution, Lewis. If you want a tablet for $299, just get a 47-inch tablet. I think that's your best bet. It'll have Netflix on it and Hulu.
And a long extension cord.
Right, exactly. It's semi-portable. All right, the people love talking about Apple, so let's give some lip service to Apple this year. What are we predicting on seeing from Apple?
Well, Jeff, you wrote that one.
Yeah. Running out of steam on this because it's the same thing that we see every year from Apple. I don't know. What do we normally say about the Apple Black Friday deal? That it's.
It's so old. Like it's such a broken record thing to talk about for us. But I really do feel like it bears repeating every year that Apple always offers a Black Friday sale, 5 to 10% off. That's not very good, and resellers have much better discounts. But like people still go to the Apple Store sale. So it's worth pointing out that if you look at Amazon, Mac Connection, Mac Mall, they're typically going to offer deeper discounts on most items. Yeah. So, especially last year, we weren't expecting iPad deals, but we saw the iPad 2 on sale it was on sale at Apple, but I think there were a handful of stores that discounted it even better, like taking maybe $50 off, I think.
Yeah. I think Best Buy had a few of those.
Best Buy, I think maybe Target, something like Micro Center where you had to go to the store.
Right.
So it's worth telling people, I guess.
Yeah. Is this really the sale that you need to know about if you love Apple and you refuse to buy Apple from anywhere else but the Apple Store, figuring that like once someone else has their hands on it, it's not as good as direct from Apple? Some people feel that way. You want to get it direct from the company or whatever, and if that's the case, then maybe this is for you.
I think some people just like the experience of going to the Apple Store. It's fun, it's exciting, but it's important to be like, but is it worth it if you can get it for cheaper?
Yeah, totally.
And especially, go on.
No, sorry, I was going to say one thing that's kind of interesting about Apple this year is that they refreshed their entire lineup just a month ago. So there's new iMacs, new Mac Minis, new iPod Touches, Nanos, and everything's new, which is something they've never really done before. Definitely not this close to the holidays. But in the past we've done our Apple price trend piece, and we've usually said that within a week or 2 weeks you'll start seeing some deals even on the new Apple products, as long as you go reseller. Amazon, Best Buy, Mac Mall, those guys. So you should see a couple of decent deals on the new stuff as well.
Yeah.
Cool. And just a note that you don't even need to go to the Apple Store to get these deals because they're also available online, right? For the most part, in the historically. So that's what we expect. Again, this year, let's see. Any other predictions you want to hit?
Well, one more thing about Apple. Sure. We were predicting that the iPad 2 would fall to $299 at some point because it's already hit $299 over the summer, and it seems like the most likely candidate to get some really aggressive deals this Black Friday. The reason why I pointed it out is because a lot of people think it's essentially the same thing as the iPad mini, which won't be on sale. So, if you really are looking to the iPad mini as a cheap tablet option that's still within the Apple family for the holidays, it's maybe worth looking out for an iPad 2 because it might be even cheaper around Black Friday. So.
Yeah, it boggles my mind that they're even keeping the iPad 2 around, what with them now having gone through the 3 onto the 4th generation and have a mini, and they're keeping the iPad 2 around because it's the budget option, for them. And I think they see that, and then it makes enough money for them. So yeah, look for that. Especially if you don't need to have the latest and greatest. Maybe you just want a tablet, a second screen for while you're watching television. Have you noticed that all these, maybe it's just the crap reality shows that I watch, but all of them seem to have like apps that you can run to get like more information about the people on the show that you're
Yeah,
watching?
you know what? I noticed that on Sunday night. Well, I noticed it a few weeks ago. Like on The Walking Dead, they have the dual screen experience that you can follow along with, and I know they have it on a couple, like you were talking about, reality shows.
Yeah,
it seems
Face
like
Off
that's something that's gaining a lot of popularity.
Yeah, so an iPad 2 for $2.99, you get your dual screen experience. It makes The Walking Dead that much better.
Nice.
That is our best Black Friday tip for you, listeners.
Sold.
The Walking Dead. All right, we are also hypothesizing. This one is a big one for me, and I want to point out because it burned me so badly last year. I bought my Razr phone, as longtime listeners will know. I bought my Razr phone, and then during Black Friday week, essentially Amazon dropped the price of that, as well as pretty much every Android phone to 1 cent. I could have just flushed a couple $100 down the toilet and would have been just as happy. So we're expecting that they're going to do something similar again this year. So look for something like that from Amazon, and Wirefly and AT&T did similar things around that period of time as well. So if you are in the market for a new, especially Android phone. I don't know. Do you think this is going to also maybe spill over onto the Windows phones as well? Do you think someone's going to think, well, it worked so well for Android phones last year, maybe we can get the Windows phones?
Yeah, I could see it happening. Microsoft definitely needs that that PR.
Help.
Yeah, they need the help. They absolutely need the help.
Yeah, and if they did that, it would be a great help, So now is around the time where we say, don't buy a smartphone if you can just hold on, because Black Friday week is probably going to have something very impressive.
Well, just a side note, I noticed I was doing some research for another piece and saw that just the number of deals on smartphones almost like tripled between 2010 and 2011 for Black Friday. So
Wow.
I think it's definitely becoming more of a Black Friday caliber promotion. So definitely, even though that happened last year, I think it's even more likely you're more likely to see deals on those items this year too.
Yeah, it was the first ad that was leaked too, wasn't it? It was a Samsung Galaxy. That was the first.
Yeah, it wasn't that great.
It wasn't that great a deal, but it was the first item.
Yeah,
it's funny
it
that
was.
they led with a smartphone.
Right.
Interesting. I wonder if we're going to see anything on the Surface tablet.
I don't know. I have no hope for that.
No, I don't either. I expect to see that on the 99-cent rack at Kmart, like within the next 6 months.
I feel like I missed out all last week on gadget news. So what's the deal with Surface and Windows 8? Was it thumbs up, thumbs down? Did people like it, hate it?
It seems like the jury's still out. They're spending a ton of money on TV and print ad and graffiti ad campaigns, like all over the place. I mean, it's everywhere. You can't get away from Windows 8. But I haven't heard any super strong reports back one way or the other. It's kind of like this anomaly that just, goes out and nothing comes back.
I wonder. Go on.
Oh, I was going to say, in terms of Windows 8, I think it got a lot of good reviews, but people were, at least when it first debuted, there was like so many stories about how people just didn't want to use it because they didn't want to learn how to use it.
Right.
And I think, and this may not be true, but I think there were also reports that a lot of businesses, which I'm sure Microsoft really preys on, didn't want to immediately upgrade their entire companies. So that's probably not great news. But I don't know about the Surface tablet. There were a lot of pictures on the debut of people lining up to buy them at the Microsoft pop-up stores, but they could have been paid to be there. I don't know.
I also would like to point out, I love your use of prey upon. Microsoft preys upon businesses. I like that because that's about right. I think going hand in hand with that, I think that it's one of those things that maybe no one will ever love, but they will adopt. Right. Especially in business. You want a Windows machine. You're going to buy a new Windows machine. It's going to come with Windows 8. What can you do?
Yeah.
It's.
Well, they held on to Windows XP for so long. It was like one of those you can take away that operating system when you pry it from a cold dead finger.
Yeah.
And now it seems like Windows 7 has now just recently been adopted across business platforms. So I don't honestly see this becoming a widespread operating system for at least another 9 months to a year at least.
Interesting. Yeah, but as for the tablets, Lewis, too expensive. I think that's what we said.
Right.
I left it at that. We were like,
Yeah.
one line review, a little too expensive. Let's leave it there. All right. Let's see. What other predictions do we have? Anything worthy of calling out? The Wii U is new for this year. Are we going to see anything other than list price? Keep in mind, when the Wii came out, we saw nothing but list price for about 4 years during Black Friday. So
you did that piece of like hilarious deals from the past, and every year it was just like, you can get it.
yeah, exactly. Surprisingly, the Wii is still available for $249.99. I think Walmart in like the third year that the Wii was out dropped it to like $247.41 or something like that. What a savings! So we're going to see the same thing with the Wii U, right? I mean, first off, this year, the first year, you're not going to be able to get it. I mean, let's just be honest, right?
Well, the only thing I would say is like, sometimes there is a store that just wants to do something that people write about and take note of. And I mean, when the iPhone 5 came out, Walmart offered a $10 discount, and it really didn't need to, and it might not have even had any to give out. I don't know, but they advertised that, and that was certainly a very popular product. I don't think it's probably not going to happen with the Wii U, but like, I don't know, maybe someone will try and advertise something and you won't be able to get it anyway. But
right. So you're saying the only deal we'll see is from a desperate merchant trying to get graphic lines.
Something you won't get anyway.
Right. So, the Wii U, let's see. So that's all we have to say about that. I don't know, anything worth saying about Blu-ray and Roku's and stuff? I feel like I don't know. I feel like people could read that on their own if they're interested enough. But this is the first year that we've done any sort of predictions for travel deals. Is this something worth pointing out? Do you think that this is something that I don't know? I mean, I know it's something that we predicted, but does this fall into the how to be prepared for Black Friday thing that we're trying to work on, or should I just say like go there and read it?
Well, Lewis, I mean, it's the first time we've covered it. We looked into it, and while it's not necessarily like the only time to get certain discounts, there are special promotions around Black Friday. So, I mean, Lewis can point out what some of them were. Yeah,
I mean, you're going to see a couple of good site-wide sales, from the likes of Expedia, Hotels.com. You're going to see a lot of coupons and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a good time if you're planning out your vacation for the following year, to go ahead and do so. Take advantage of the sales, because you're going to see a lot of site-wide sales.
Now, will you be waking up early and waiting online at orbits.com in order to get these deals? That was probably a good time to make mention that you probably never need to wake up early and go to these stores, right? I mean, in general, what's our rule of thumb? Is that it's kind of not worth your time to go to a store because we will see deals on similar items for less, for as good, if not less, right? I mean,
for the most part, yeah. It's worth saying that if you're really trying to get one of those doorbuster deals that are in-store only, then yeah, you're going to have to probably line up, but you may not get it anyway.
Right.
Because there's such limited stock that for the most part, we just say it's not worth it.
Right.
But you still want to wake up early, but you can just roll over and log on to your computer as opposed to having to go camp out. So
Gosh, I cannot imagine the disappointment of someone who even wakes up early to get to a Black Friday sale, drives across town to get to where Best Buy or whatever, parks the car, stands outside in the cold, only to realize that they're the 11th person online and they only have 10 of the TVs they wanted, or something like that, Oh,
and then that person will probably still try and get in.
Right.
Like maybe one of these people just want it.
Right, yeah. Maybe he walks up the line like, wait, are you here for the television?
Yeah.
You are? Oh, terrible. All right, let's see. What else can we cover here as our time rapidly dwindles? Let's see. What do we need to impart about Black Friday before our time runs out? Do we want to talk about how it's going to be more mobile this year and how it's going to be appearing on more mobile things? Do we want to, in the same breath, give a plug to our Black Friday app that we have for both Android and iOS? If you load that up,
you know what? I guess what I would. Sorry, not to cut you off.
No. Go ahead.
I think one of the greatest features that Deal News actually offers for people on Black Friday is the email alerts. It's useful year-round, but like especially around Black Friday, since deals are now like popping up on Thanksgiving itself, and you can't possibly keep track of them all day unless you just don't have anything to do for the holiday. I think it's really, really useful setting up an alert for whatever it is you want. It comes up on, you could even buy it through your phone, like at dinner maybe, no one will know. But instead of having to actually like sit at your computer and check things or even go to the stores, it's really useful given what Black Friday has become. And even more so since it's not just on one day and the deal you want might start popping up on Wednesday. It's useful knowing that as opposed to waiting and then finding out it just sold out.
Right.
Actually, I did have a friend of mine last year on Thanksgiving Day was sitting at the table and he had set up an email alert for a Blu-ray player, and like no kidding, in the middle of someone passing him the potatoes, he got an email that the Blu-ray player that he was looking for at the price that he was looking for popped up, and he put the potatoes down, jumped on his phone, and bought it right there. So I mean, it does come in handy if you're looking for something and don't want to miss the boat.
Yeah, totally. Because unless you're like us and are sitting around doing deals all day, on these days, chances are you're probably not sitting at your computer. That is great. So I think, all right. Should we sum up the entire Black Friday experience to say, go to Deal News, create an alert for what you want, and then just sit back and relax and enjoy. No need to wake up early. We bring the deals to you.
Exactly. It's like going to Vegas and playing bingo with that automated thing that like alerts you if you won. You know what I mean? I think it's a viable tool.
Oh, and we lost Lewis, so I think now's a good time to end the show as well.
Yeah.
I think he left to go set up an alert.
I think so. So I want to thank you guys for joining me.
Thanks for having us again.
Anytime. And also, listeners, for links to today's stories and anything we've talked about Black Friday, go to our show notes page. Also, feel free to send us feedback to podcast@dealnews.com. I'm Jeff Somogyi. Goodbye.